Thanks, guys, for joining me at the kitchen concert party here. It's awesome to have you both here in the same place. It's been a while since we've actually chatted and jammed. It's kind of it's a brand new feeling for me. I'm kind of rusty and I have some cobwebs on my guitar, but I think we'll have fun tonight.
Yeah.
And we all brought our guitars because we all had some stories to share, and we all had some things that we've been processing and working with and being strong on top of everything and just using our guitar as our mechanisms to this is how I'm gonna prevail through this hard winter. It's been a rough time for a lot of people, so we can't forget that too. But again, music has always been our constant, right? It's always been our guide too. So I'd like to again, thank you all for coming out to our kitchen party here. And so let's share some songs and stories behind them. I kind of wanted to get that idea going. I kind of miss hearing conversations behind the songs. I've heard so many great songs and so many releases and people just pouring their spirits into it. And I'm like, I want to know how that song started. So I kind of wanted to say, let's have a conversation tonight. Play a song and let's hear the story behind it. Jarrid, do you have anything that you want to share that's,
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us the story behind it.
I grew up in St. Paul, Alberta. It's a small farming community about 2 hours northeast of Edmonton, kind of towards Cold Lake. So if people are on Highway 16, you go north of Lloyd a little bit, and no roads lead there. It's one of those towns you just basically drive through, stop, pick up some stuff, and you're on your way to the lake or whatever the case may be. But this song I wrote was my first Songwriters Award, and I actually got it here in Regina a few years ago. And I got to open up for some very big names at Craven. And some of the names I can drop, I'll drop them, would be like Aaron Tippin, Colin Ray, Sammy Kershaw. They had their roots and boots. And then there was Jess Moskaluk from Saskatchewan here, Midland, and then, of course, Luke Bryan. So it's kind of weird how I first got back in the country. I was always into rock. But I somehow fell back in the country by listening to Luke Bryan. And then Jason Aldean and Dean Brody and all these kind of different Canadian country artists. And I found myself attracted back into country. So I started writing songs about where I grew up and how I grew up, and we'll get to that stuff. But this song I wrote is, anybody from a small town can relate to this song because there's not much for us to do other than, get into trouble. If the cops aren't around, we'll go to spot number 1 or spot number 2.
Right.
So you're going to hear a lot of analogies about all the fun stuff and all the trouble you can get into a small town. So this one's my one and only Songwriters Award for a small town. A parking lot circle full of trucks and cars. We were too young to get in the bars, so we all flipped laps till the sun went down. How could I forget those days? We were stuck in our crazy ways. Y'all didn't need a reason to go out. So tell your friends, and I'll tell mine. We'll meet at the spot, 'cause after night, 'cause in a small town, that's how word gets around. In a small town, we're always ready to get down. The fire's blazing, the keg is tapped, and where we're at ain't on the map. It is what it is, a small town. You call the girls and I'll call the boys. We got a mud pit, go grab the toys. No worry inside, we'll grab that tractor too. We got enough pallets till the cows come home. If the cops show up, we'll hit the road, 'cause they don't know about spot number 2. So tell your friends, and I'll tell mine. We'll meet at the spot just after 9, 'cause in a small town, that's how word gets around. In a small town, we're always ready to get down. The fire's blazing, the keg is tapped, and where we're at ain't on the map. It is what it is, a small town. In a small town, that's how word gets around. In a small town, we're always ready to get down. The fire's blazing, the keg is tapped, and where we're at ain't on the map. It is what it is, a small town. It is what it is, a small town. It is what it is, a small town. Right.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I like the story behind it. There's a lot of imagery and there's a lot of like just enjoying life, just being present.
Yep.
Yeah, it just brings back that feeling of, oh yeah, it's a summer evening and we're gonna go out and get wild for a little while.
Pallets.
Have fun, yeah.
The pallet
The
party.
pallet.
That's right.
It's like, if you see a truck full of pallets, follow that truck. Chances are they're going someplace,
Going
right?
somewhere fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Val, how about you? You got anything that you've been working on, or even something that was put out just recently? Let's hear a story.
Oh, well. I was all set for something else, but if you want to talk recent, then we'll talk recent.
Sure, whatever you got.
Yeah, actually, the only other time I've played this was just recently at the Creative City Center for something else. But I kind of, it's a song that I wrote for my dad. My dad passed away right at the end of 2019, December. So I went into the pandemic already kind of like, whoa, you know. But I've kind of been still working on it. Like, I felt like I had to play it just to kind of like get over that first time, right? Because it's so like gets real emotional and stuff. And I actually hadn't written anything prior to writing this song for like almost 2 years, I think. Because I was just like, how do I write about? I couldn't write about anything else. Like, that was like the big thing looming, and it was like I had to somehow write about that loss, but it was like I wasn't ready. So then I just didn't write anything for so long, and I was like, oh no. Anyway, I finally wrote that song, which is great. And but since kind of like playing that, I think I was very it was very kind of emotional and sad, I guess, and for me at that first kind of go of it. And I've been playing it a lot more recently and kind of feeling like more celebratory than like sad, you know? And it's changed the way that I play it because, you know, I think I'm healing. I think I'm at a point where instead of being just like broken, I'm now like in a position to be celebrating his life and being like feeling joy and gratitude and all these things. So, all right. My daddy flew a hot air balloon, and I grew up being part of his chase crew, burning up the country roads. The sound of crickets on a July night, popping champagne at the end of the flight. Just a French tradition when you land in a farmer's field. Your prairie daughter still knows or strong winds will carry me home. God gave you wings, forever you'll fly, and I think of you when I look to the sky in your hot air balloon, soaring high. God gave you wings, forever you'll fly. Ooh, woohoo. My old man could set a fiddle on fire. He loved Bob Wills and Buddy Spiker. And he could cut a reel or a jig, and with his Texas swing. Summertime stages, small town bars, motorbike runs and vintage cars. He'd be sawing that fiddle so fast I knew one day he'd fly away. Your prairie daughter still knows a fiddle will always bring me home. God gave you wings, forever you'll fly, and I think of you when I look to the sky in your hot air balloon, soaring high. God gave you wings, forever you'll fly. God gave you wings, forever you'll fly, and I think of you when I look to the sky in your hot air balloon, soaring high. God gave you wings, forever you'll fly. God gave you your wings, forever you'll fly.
Wow, awesome.
Thanks.
That's a great story behind it.
Thanks.
And you're right, it is.
It feels really just pure joy to
It
play
is.
it now instead of somber. So, yeah, I just feel really grateful that I feel like that song was a gift actually.
It's very,
really
yeah,
fast.
like you said, it's very celebratory.
Yeah.
And I rarely use this word for a song, but it's a beautifully written song. Beautifully written. It's just,
Thanks.
it's there. It's
Thanks
just like,
so
wow,
much.
hey, I can really lift up to this song. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
thanks.
appreciate you sharing that. It's a great story.
So Dale, what have you been working on lately? I'm kind of anxious to hear what Dale has.
Dale.
Well, I've been on this journey for the past few years. I got a grant from Canada Arts Council to preserve language. My father's side is Nakota, and my late mom's side was Dakota. So we were rarely exposed to my dad's side of the language, and there's so few fluent speakers left. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make my next album about preserving some of those stories and those lessons and the language in there. So I started writing this when I went to Banff a few years back, and I met these producers, and they were on the same journey too. So I kind of got some advice and a little bit of mentoring, and so that's how you do it. Oh, that's how you do it. And a lot of it involved not just copying a word and memorizing it, but knowing what it was about, knowing the meaning behind the word. Because one word can mean a multitude of things, as we all know, but knowing the right way to say it, and the language, and the culture, and the ceremony behind it. So I've been on this whole songwriting path, and I've been making a collection of stories for my next album, Pejuta Road. Pejuta means medicine. So it's about songs that just preserve culture and celebrate life. Yeah, so it's been quite a struggle at the same time, but worth it.
A journey.
Journey, worth it. That's exactly journey.
Yeah.
Both the good and the bad parts of it. Yeah. My grandson, his name is Kendrick, hey? And when he was younger, he was just a toddler. He's only 3, right? But when he was younger, small, he was given a name, Pawatak Napesis. And that's a Nehiawak word for a boy who sees dreams. And he was given that by an elder Florence Sparvier. And that song that name just formed into a song for me. I'm like, how do we celebrate that? So when he's 20, he's like, hey, I have that song. So I'll share that song. It's called Celebrate Your Name. You're watching television, you're watching movies tonight. We'll have our conversation, we'll talk of doing things right. We're sitting fireside, you're watching stars fall tonight. You see people's dreams, you know things will be fine. I think you've been gifted all along. Out of place, you worry that you won't belong. I say you've got a reason to celebrate your name. Celebrate your name. A charge to be too big to know. You're going to get your name. Don't be nervous, did you know your daddy was the same? Niate wamni wachi, and he is proud of you. Niade ohitiga, he is courageous too. I think you've been gifted all along. Out of place, you worry that you won't belong. I say you've got a reason to celebrate your name. I think you've been gifted all along. Out of place, you worry that you won't belong. I say you've got a reason to celebrate your name. Celebrate your name. Celebrate your name. Ambane, Nina watch day, ribbon shirt on. The family's gathering, we've come to hear your song. Adewa mayanga wo michate iogipi. We hamna bi dowi hokshe na imagi abe. I think you've been gifted all along. Out of place, you worry that you won't belong. I say you've got a reason to celebrate your name. I think you've been gifted all along. Out of place, you worry that you won't belong. I say you've got a reason to celebrate your name. Celebrate your name. Celebrate your name. The boy who sees dreams. The boy who sees dreams. Akeia wo. Akeia wo.
That's so cool.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I have to switch my brain to
How do
different
you do
languages.
that? Like, because when you're singing a song in English, it's normally in English, but then to switch into another language, because our language, like especially indigenous language, is so critical. Like when you're thinking about descriptive words, it's hard to switch. Like I couldn't do that. Like in order to put a whole sentence together and go back to English, how do you do that?
It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, it would.
It takes a lot of practice. You have to. What I learned was when I was using the same cadence as English words, I was way off. My syllables were off, and it sounded wrong.
Yeah.
But when I had to okay, maybe I need to speak off cadence in this part or verse,
Yeah.
it fit and it ended on the beat. Wow. So you have to kind of just think.
Huh.
Yeah. And the language, what I've learned is that we speak with the nouns first, then the descriptors after. So it's kind of like a backwards thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what, like, your grandson is going to have that as, like, a gift now to take with him. I just think that's so cool. Like, I'm like, wow, like, songs are so crazy, man,
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like I received one as my dad moved on.
Right.
And now you've gifted one
Yeah.
to your grandson.
Yeah.
That he'll be able to carry with him
Yeah.
through his life. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
very cool. Very
Thank
cool.
you. Yeah. I'm looking forward to recording it this spring and summer and getting it out there. And yeah.
Has he heard it?
Not yet. I mean, he's 3, right? So yeah.
Wait until
but wait
he'll-
till he hears it. Yeah.
You're like, that's so cool. Very cool.
Jarrid.
Yeah.
You have something new for us.
New.
I'm anxious to hear anything new. If you got anything that's ready or almost ready.
Do you
Oh
accept
my.
the challenge?
I accept the challenge. Yeah, so that trip down to Nashville, I got to write with Bill DeLuigi. And if you don't know who Bill is, you got to check him out. One of the best songwriters. Hands down, I've listened to all his music. He's got Grammys, Junos, endless. So this guy's so humble. And one of the songs we wrote, I asked him, I said, Bill, how do I thank everybody for all their help and all their prayers and all their... Wait, and we started going back and forth, right? And pretty soon we came up with this nice little easygoing song. And it's just a thank you to everybody who's ever helped me, whether it's monetary, whether it's a thought, whether it's a share, whether it's a like on Facebook, or even prayers. Like prayers, I get emotional when I think about that, because when people are praying for you to make it to your destination, it makes your trip that much easier. Whether it's from point A to point B, or whether it's making it in music, for everybody that's ever, prayed for me or said, I want them to make it. This is that song that I'm saying thank you. And it's still kind of new, so if I mess up the words or don't remember them, it's because it is new. Like it only got written, end of February or beginning of February, end of January. So this one's called Give It All Back. We loaded up in the driveway, hit that 6-string cowboy highway. I swear sometimes we don't know where we are. From the corner bars to the fairgrounds, from the city lights down to your towns. Without you there we wouldn't have come this far. 'Cause you are the prayer that followed me down the road, all the love that came up from the seeds you'd sowed, the strength to keep on going when I fell off track. I just wanna take a minute and give it all back. Feel you in these stage lights. I'm singing yours and my life. I'm trying to give you a hit from the soul guitar. 'Cause you are the prayer that followed me down the road, all the love that came up from the seeds you'd sowed, the strength to keep on going when I fell off track. You're the strength that followed me down the road, all the love that came up from the seeds you sowed, the strength to keep on going when I fell off track.
I just wanna take a minute and give it all back. Give it all back. Raise them up to the sky, singing, whoa, whoa. Puts a tear in my eye, singing, you know, no. You're the prayer that followed me down the road, all the love that came up from the seeds you'd sowed, the strength to keep on going when I fell off track. I just wanna take a minute and give it all back. Give it all back.
Nice.
Well done.
So
Put
the
it
part
on
about
wax. Send it. It's a
part
hit.
about like falling off track is like, you know, sometimes when you fall down and you're like, oh, I'll call Dale. I'll be like, Dale, I don't want to do this anymore. So those are the people that put you back on track, saying, listen, this is just temporary. You may have got rejected by this person or because of this musical, for whatever reasons, it's not your place to go there. So when the people put you back on track with those compliments and, hey, listen, I got a show for you.
Yeah.
You're trying to play.
Yeah.
So pick up your lip and get back on track and keep going. So that song is for everybody, like that's ever helped me out with their
Love
prayers
it.
and all the thank yous.
Right
Love
on.
it.
That's a great
You can
song.
feel the energy. It's just like,
There's a little, yes.
I could see that. I'm ready to be out at Craven watching and seeing you play that one on the stage there for sure.
One day.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
One day, again.
You put it out there. It'll
Yeah,
happen
one
now.
day. So that's the thing is like when you're right with people that are way better than you, it just, it comes and it's easier flow. Because the
Yeah.
ideas that I have in my head, I sometimes can't get them onto paper or I can't find the right words for them.
Yeah.
But if you find a professional that can, you know, help you navigate those thoughts and
Just
put it onto
kinda,
paper
yeah,
so
or
it
like
flows.
focus things or organize or whatever they do, man.
So I never came up with that hook, but he did. He's like, you're the pear that follows me down the road. All the love that came up from the seeds you'd sowed. Because this music, it's a long-term thing. You know, it's not just going to happen overnight, but anytime anybody puts a seed in the ground, especially with love, it comes up and we get to have those, you know, the fruits of our labors. And
Yeah.
even music and all these songs, they're starting off with just the basics. And that song, like you said, is not recorded yet, but it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are going to get a little preview of like how badly I messed up the chord progression or whatever. But the final version, oh my God, I can feel it.
hear it.
I can feel it.
hear it.
I was
It's,
just
it's
like,
going to be a good tune.
this is radio ready.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
And it's still rough, you know? So I can't wait. It's going to be a
That's
good
what
one.
they say though. If it stands alone with the acoustic, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's good to go, man.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Well, you know what? I'm a big fan of gravel roads.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of roads,
So where did that song come from? Gravel roads.
gravel roads. Oh, well, a friend of mine, Kyle Weeders. That's how you say it, Kyle Weeders. I was down in New Braunfels, Texas, one night, and you know, after the late crowd after the show, we were back at his house and kind of doing like this, sitting around a bunch of songwriters just playing tunes back and forth. And he had a version of this song that already existed. And he played it for me that night and I was blown away. And something really hit me about it. It's very lyrical, and very just like rolling, repetitive kind of thing. And I really kind of just sat there and got lost in just the words. And I saw these kinds of things. And so I asked him if he would want to, or if he would let me do it as a co-write with him, to sort of add in a little bit of what I heard, and he did, and I was just like so stoked and grateful for that. So this is Kyle and I, but I'll say Kyle had the original sort of the structure and everything there, and then he just let me put some of my words in and stuff. But like, but for me, it was just like, I think there's some specific lyrical content that can be taken in a very more abstract way. So it might mean different things to different people, but like to me, I just heard these sort of repeating themes that repeat throughout history. I think what I saw in this song was themes, that could be universal, could be located anywhere, but we see them over and over and over, like a gravel road. Just like gravel roads and dusty trees, bloody wars and empty dreams, traffic jams and rainy days, one night stands, shades of gray, broke down cars, dead end signs, shattered hearts and blistered minds, like gravel roads, just like gravel roads. Like palm leaves under southern snow, business, sickness, the profits to show, thick black smoke, dim headlights, oil town, sundown, a thief in the night, like barbed wire on a cedar fence, and unelected presidents, gravel roads, just like gravel roads, yeah, like gravel roads, just like gravel roads. The reflection of a mirror is the reflection of a mirror. The reflection of a mirror is the reflection of a mirror. The reflection of a mirror is the reflection of a mirror. The reflection of a mirror is the reflection of a mirror, just like gravel roads, yeah, and dusty trees, and bloody wars, and empty dreams, traffic jams and rainy days, one night stands, shades of gray, broke down cars, dead end signs, shattered hearts, blistered minds, like barbed wire on a cedar fence, yeah, like barbed wire on a cedar fence, millionaire religious frauds, grassy knolls and your jealous gods, gravel roads, just like gravel roads, yeah, like gravel roads, just like gravel roads. Gravel roads.
Hey, that's pretty awesome.
Thanks for those jams.
Oh,
man.
that fit
I
right
was
in.
agree. I was like,
No problem.
yeah.
I'm just feeling it over here. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do that. That's when jamming comes in, right? It's like it's same chord progression. You find the notes that are
Yeah.
within it. And just,
Yeah.
just go for it.
That added some flair, actually.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, it's a great kind of like, get kind of weird song too, get kind of spooky.
Yeah. Yes.
I was digging it.
I like the story behind it, and you're right. Like gravel roads, it's universal. These themes, everything.
Yeah. One day I'll have to like sit him down and be like, what exactly did you mean?
Yeah. there was a song that I put out last April. It was something that I've seen growing up in in our circle, in the traditional powwow circle. I remember being a boy, and a feather, an eagle feather, is very sacred, right? And there was a powwow going on, and somebody had dropped one inadvertently, not on purpose. These things happen sometimes. Accidents happen, and the announcer stopped everything. He said, "Hold on, I've just been informed a feather fell in the arbor. Everyone clear the arbor." So I remember all these dancers having to clear the arbor. And there was this man in the middle, the arena director, or the stick man, I guess. And he called 4 veterans over. And they had this, we have this cultural protocol, is that when a feather falls, it symbolizes a fallen person, a fallen warrior. So they got together, these 4 veterans who've seen combat or have been in the military service or anything like that, and they have stories to tell or scars to share. And the arena director had them perform this picking up of the feather ceremony, which symbolizes helping somebody back up. So I remember that, and I didn't want to forget it because we don't see that anymore. We barely see it. It's kind of a little rushed process, and I don't want to judge anything. To me, it's just, what happened to that part? When I got older, what happened to that? They used to do that. Rarely see it. So I wanted to preserve that teaching in a story of a song called When the Feather Falls, symbolizing somebody who comes home from service or military or career, and they've got scars. And how do they adjust to being the person, the family person again? So they have to heal themselves. So they go to ceremony, and I'll let you kind of think about, wait, what ceremony am I talking about here in the lyrics? And they transition to a role of a provider, from a warrior to a community provider, a hunter. So this one's called When a Feather Falls. You put away your guns and your memories too. You point the blame at me instead. Where are you coming to? Put the bottle down. You know it won't help you. And a wounded warrior, and he tries to hide. When a feather falls, and you come to a place where you swallow your pride, show your scars and fears to the 40 rocks inside. And this is where you heal, this is where you cry. Your grandfathers gather and they sing for you. When a feather falls, 4 veterans stand and they dance for you. When a feather falls, where you coming from? We waited up for you. The hungry people sigh. Now what you gonna do? You better pick up your gun. You know what to do. And the people stand and they dance for you. When a feather falls, hungry veterans stand and they sing for you. When a feather falls, when a feather falls, Thanks. Yeah. I wanted to end it not with a, but more of a,
With a,
kind of a thought.
everyone wants to go to that last note and they're
Yeah.
expecting it. Even I was expecting it.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him like, it's not going to.
Yeah, I thought that added more dynamic to what the story was about.
Yeah.
Instead of a bring or
Yeah, give a moment, a pause.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the rocks, that's the sweat.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
For me, that's the ceremony that,
Grandfathers.
because a lot of people that have addictions, when they go into sweats, that's where they sweat out all the toxins,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where they go and find their peace and get over that hump of whatever they're going through.
Yep, that's where it happens. That's where it takes place.
I've been alcohol free for too many days that I can count. You eventually lose count of how many days you stay sober, and by then it's just drugs and alcohol free. So I'm glad to say that I'm sober, going on the red road is what they call it. But it wasn't always easy. And I wrote a song for National Addictions Awareness Week, and it's called The Addict, and it talks a lot about certain different types of addictions where even on your phone is an addiction. Overworking yourself, like all these things that people don't know they're doing, like the drugs and the alcohol, it's pretty obvious, but gambling. I touch on as many different things as I can, and without putting any guilt or any shame on anybody for this. It's just a sign of hope. Like if there's a will, there's a way kind of deal. So The Addict, I specifically wrote the song, like I said, for National Addictions Awareness Week, and it's really heavy. But I mean, I wrote it for anybody going through a rough time. So if I can do it, if other people can do it, you can do it. So that's the whole point behind the story, and hope you guys like this one. This one's called The Addict.
There's no genie at the bottom of that bottle you're sipping. Lighting one smoke off another ain't really quite quitting. Hurting the ones we love the most with the words that cut so deep. It's a hard pill to swallow to love an addict like me. Work my fingers to the bone, I do too darn much. Saying yes to please the ones in life that don't do much. Waiting on my return for all of my good deeds. It's a hard pill to swallow to love an addict like me. Well, I'm down at rock bottom, I'll never reach the top. One more drink and one more smoke, this time I swear I'll stop. Yes, I know you'll love me until this habit's kicked. I'm an addict, I'm an addict, I'm an addict that's sick. I've gambled my whole check away for a chance to win it big. I blamed all my problems on the past and my kids. Smoking all my pain away with a few puffs of weed. It's a hard pill to swallow to love an addict like me. Well, I'm down at rock bottom, I'll never reach the top. One more drink and one more smoke, this time I swear I'll stop. Yes, I know you'll love me until this habit's kicked. I'm an addict, I'm an addict, I'm an addict that's sick. I'm an addict, I'm an addict, I'm an addict that's sick. One more line won't hurt me, this might be my last. Someone take this pain from me, you'll just forget I asked. I'm down at rock bottom, I'll never reach the top. One more drink and one more smoke, this time I swear I'll stop. Yes, I know you'll love me until this habit's kicked. I'm an addict, I'm an addict, please help me, I'm sick. I'm an addict, I'm an addict, I'm an addict that's sick. I'm an addict, I'm an addict, I'm an addict that's sick.
That's a great song.
Nice.
It's well written, and it tells that story of this is my journey, and yet there's a real layer of hope on top of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a well written song.
So you always hear that thing, oh, just one more drink, one more
right.
smoke, and I'll be done.
right.
But it could be your last. Like, there's so much bad stuff out there. Like, even when people do drugs, like, I don't know how many, I've lost count of how many friends I've lost to overdoses now. And it's getting ridiculous. Like, one more line won't hurt me. This might be my last. And that's all people are going through right now is pain.
Yeah.
So how do you help them through that pain? I think like what you're talking about with music being healing, it is.
Yeah.
You know, because if I sing that song to somebody, if it reaches them, if it touches them, maybe it's that little nudge of hope that, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be doing something else and get back on track, get back to that red road. Because there is help. And when people say, like, you know, when you hit rock bottom, that's when you know what happens if you hit rock bottom and you don't come back. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
So don't ever let yourself get to that point where you've actually on rock bottom. Do something about it now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good words, man.
Yeah, I wanted to do a song that I actually wrote for my great grandmother. So this song was it's important to me, and it's kind of like its meaning changes as sort of the more I learn and the more that you know, I feel like there's my own family's history in this song, but I also wanted to include sort of like the touch on aspects of like the shared history of things like, you know, residential schools and 60s Scoop and like the hangings at Battleford that, like, you know, were not taught about in school, but it was like the largest mass execution in Canadian history. And those were First Nations men who were fighting alongside the Métis, who were hanged as like a display. They say that they even brought people out and children out to witness that, because, you know, I think what the government was trying to do was say, you know, make an example and say, don't ever try to challenge us again. So I tried to incorporate some of those pieces of history into the song, as well as my family's own story. So this one's called Eliza Jane for Great Grandma. Government town, snowed in again. You wear me down. I lost all my thinner sins in this town. I thought I'd grow old if I don't leave now. I'll die of the cold. Last 100 years since my great-grandma hid her Red River tears from my great-grandpa. She loved to go home. She would never forget her own blood at the door, her own blood out in the ditch. What's hiding in your name? What's in the stories we pass down? Eliza Jane, I know where you came from, yeah. I know where the pain is hiding now. In this government town. Government town, with blood on your hands. You stole the babies from the cradles and the women off the land. And in these towns where you strung up the men, you wrapped a rope around their spirit because you knew it'd rise again. Eliza Jane, what's hiding in your name? What's in the stories we passed down? Eliza Jane, I know where you came from, and I know where your pain is hiding now. In this government town, and we still come home now. Is it too late for us now? Red River, Red River, Eliza Jane, what's hiding in your name? What's in the stories we passed down? Eliza Jane, I know where you came from, and I know where your pain is hiding now. In this government town.
Awesome song.
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. I recall you recording a version of that a long time ago, but it was a live version.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this song.
I know we had I think we talked about, like, you were doing a radio thing.
Yes, for
and I was,
CJTR at the time, yeah.
I was meaning to come, and I was like, I'm always like, I don't know. This song's it's an emotional one too for me there. So I don't play it all that often, but when it seems like the right place and time. But I still would do that any day if you're still doing it. I don't know. I was probably in some kind of like mental like
Right.
I know I've wanted to, but I remember being chaotic when you
Right.
messaged me.
No, and that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly understandable. But that song, it sticks with you. You take it home with you after. And I took that song home with me. I'm like, I almost envisioned that story of a grandmother full of love and life and strength and just carrying it on and raising a family and being that part of a family's history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song really stuck with me. I was up late last night writing lyrics for a new song, and it took me a while to write it because I wanted to create a piece of earth, but make kind of it a persona. But I'm using water and how the water is around life, everything about life, from birth to throughout your whole journey, and the good and the bad that happens around water. And water is a witness to everything that we do. And I wanted to write that song to acknowledge how important water is. You know, there's been blockades, there's been movements, there's been people standing up for clean water left and right. And I just wanted that pure water to be a part of life and just capture that in a song. And I'm still struggling with it because I'm still trying to find the right cadence to it, I guess, with some of the words. So I'll stumble through it the best I can, and then, yeah, I'll show you guys what it's about. It's called Mani Washte. Mani means water, and Washte means good. You wake up early in the morning and you lie awake. They pulled a shoe from the water just the other day, and a mother cried in silence, hear her heart break. When the senator talked on TV, did we look away? A heart can change. A heart can change. You can rise and in a moment of pain. There is life in the water, my name will stay. Sunrise, you're staring in the mirror you don't want to see. When the weather brings us rain and all its misery, we lock ourselves inside and we avoid the day. Unchimaka is silenced, she just wanted to play. Our heart can change. Our heart can change. You can rise in a moment of pain. There is life in the water, my name will stay. You can rise in a moment of pain. There is life in the water, my name will stay. You wake up early in the morning and you lie awake. They made a date to remember those who've gone away. A new life cries out on arrival and the rain heals. Grandmother's not in silence, we are still here. A heart can change. A heart can change. You can rise in a moment of pain. There is life in the water, my name will stay. You can rise in a moment of pain. There is life in the water, my name will stay. My name will stay. There we go.
That's something you're feeling it all. I'm the filler guy.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Water, that's gonna be our probably our last fight. Like we fought over every resources, all the resources in the world, and that's gonna be our last fight. When like in the treaties, it goes, when as long as the river flows, the grass grows, all that stuff. But what people don't understand is that's what we're fighting for. And when they pass this bill about, being able to pass a pipeline that goes across all these clean water sources, in my experience, it's not a matter of if a pipeline will burst, but when and where. And they think that, let's just clean it up.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that. How about not do it in the first place?
Right.
But that's so...
Yeah.
I could go on. Like we're talking about politics. we're gonna get heated.
I'm like, this is gonna be the late show. Like, we'll take another break and then come back.
Applause out, everybody.
Yeah. And then if you want to stick around, we'll start laying it down.
Yeah, start getting really, really heavy.
Yeah. I really want to thank you all for coming to the kitchen concert party. This is a great time to get together, and it was just nice to see friends in real life and just connect again.
Yes.
We've always been, not always, but we've got so used to being the online faces, and it feels human and real when we're back together again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to thank you guys for coming out, and well, awesome.
We have time for one more, or are we done? That's it.
It's up to you guys. If you got one more to share, or close it out. Close it out, Jarrid.
My people have been broken. My people have been shamed. When others tried to conquer us, they did it in His name. So how did that work out for you? So who's the one to blame? One day we all answer to the one who calls our name. And There's a brighter day coming down the road. So take all the time you need to heal your soul. My people will be sleeping for 100 years. An artist will wake you up to dry those tears. It's time, it's time, it's time. The circle has been broken, the circle has been changed. To kill the Indian and the child, they must have been deranged. Why couldn't they just leave things be? A way of life unchanged, like a racing river to the sea. It can all be rearranged. There's a brighter day coming down the road. So take all the time you need to heal your soul. My people will be sleeping for 100 years. An artist will wake you up to dry those tears. It's time, it's time, oh it's time. Why can't you see what's best for me is my family? There's a brighter day coming down the road. So take all the time you need to heal your soul. My people will be sleeping for 100 years. An artist will wake you up to dry those tears. It's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, oh it's time.
Yeah.
That's how you end a session.
I'm